Come on, Arkansas football begins in 85 days.
A fastball hit high in the air by Maxwell to deep right field, back towards the video board. That ball's out of here. The third Razorback home run tonight.
You have to not worry about all the other things. You just got to go play. You can dive into the other team as much as you want, dissect it. If we do what we do, we'll have a chance to win. If we don't, we won't.
Hit high in the air center field, coming on Justin Thomas, coming on, sliding. He made the catch. And this one belongs to the Razorbacks.
We got work to do. They're good. I mean, if I'm not mistaken, they're by default, or as we now stand, they're the number one seed or the favorite to win the whole thing. I know as well as anyone that it's a rowdy environment to play in, and they'll probably kick it up a notch this time of year as our fans did last year. But I mean, it's an SEC series, just has different labels to it for circumstances that follow and definitely circumstances that precede it.
We've played each other a 3-game series. We've seen them play a game in the tournament. We know what they do. We know what they do well, and that's pitch and score. We know what we do well, and if both teams are doing that well, it's going to be an incredible series. The atmosphere should be electric. Once we get through like Friday night, it looks like the weather's going to be pretty nice, upper 70s, 80 degrees, and it's going to be a little nutty.
Live from the Busch Light Studios, this is The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson and Tommy Kraft.
I think Tommy's wishing he could be on the show this morning. He's still detained in the Boston area doing some work stuff. He's not just having fun.
He's been detained?
He's been detained. Not that type of detained. Hey, welcome in. It's Fastball Friday edition of the Morning Rush here on ESPN Arkansas. It feels like a football week for a variety of reasons. Not just because of the caliber of matchup, not because you just have the A crew, Chris Burke, Kyle Peterson, Tom Hart here this weekend, but you also don't have a game to react to today, and you're not playing today. Mm-hmm. That's the other element to this. Like I put in the rundown, Colton did a great job. Epic build-up to this series, which you just heard. And you want to play today. You don't want to wait till 4 o'clock tomorrow. We'll have pregame coverage beginning at 3, and then we'll be on after that. But you want to play right now, today. You don't get a chance to do that. We're going to do something unconventional as we start. Rules are meant to be broken, I feel like. I am not able to go this weekend. Colton can't go this weekend. Big C can't. The rest of our staff can't go this weekend. I don't have a ticket for you or tickets, but I do have a parking pass.
Wow.
And it's really close near to Baumwalker.
Yeah,
so
where's it at? Where's the parking pass for?
It's Tyson Track South.
Oh, that's close.
So it's not sponsored or anything. I want somebody to utilize this weekend. You got to come get it in Fort Smith. Call us right now, 877-377-6963 here on the Lewis Automotive Group hotline. Colton will take the first caller, and you've got a parking pass all weekend long. Hopefully, we just need 2 games to defeat the Tennessee Volunteers this weekend. It wasn't, listen, all these old clips, these new clips of Tony Vitello and Dave Van Horn this week. I go back to when Tony won the national championship last year.
I do remember it because I was shaking the cobwebs out from the night before. Our families and fans, and we took over that hotel, and I don't know what time everybody shut it down, and it wasn't like a rowdy celebration, although the police did show up. There's a good picture. I just remember it was early in the morning and trying to get my bearings, and from my side, it got kind of emotional, but he was very generous with some of his compliments and was appreciative of some things, and I was too.
We had an interesting dynamic in Providence, Rhode Island this year between Rick Pitino and John Calipari, who, whether they say it publicly or not, do not like each other. Mm-hmm. I keep going back and forth on the idea. I know what he has to say publicly, or Dave has to say publicly about one another, because you don't want to give the other team ammo heading into this Super Regional this weekend, or a couple weeks ago when they played here in Baumwalker Stadium. Which, by the way, Tennessee has not won here since Chris Burke was on the team in 2001. Great piece of information. Double-checked it this morning. 11.7 College Baseball Podcast had it. We'll get in some other stuff coming up here as well. But that is something I find fascinating. It's like, do these guys actually like each other? Do they play it up? Do they have fun with it a little bit? Competitors often, again, they get at each other's throats every once in a while. Magic Johnson, Larry Bird is the greatest example of a rivalry where there was respect, but there was also animosity. Like there will never be a greater rivalry in sports between two individuals than that. college baseball obviously does not reach what the NBA does or basketball does as a whole. But as I heard Tom Hart say on Chuck and Bo this morning, Vitello's antics, his teams, the way they conduct themselves, you may not like it, but it's a draw for college baseball. That's where we begin here on a Fastball Friday. It's brought to you by QC Kinetix. Listen, you don't want pain from chronic joint pain. Maybe you're just dealing with, you're like, oh, this is the new normal. Tried a short-term fix here and there, and it's not working. Well, move on in 2025 with QC Kinetix. You can give them a call at 479-999-1234. That's 479-999-1234. They're the nation's leader in regenerative medicine. You can revitalize your joints, no steroids, no drugs, no surgery. Tens of thousands of people, including Tommy, have taken advantage of it. Call them today for a free consultation. One more time, 479-999-1234. That's 479-999-1234. So when you go back to that 2001 season, which was in April when the Tennessee Volunteers came into Fayetteville and actually won a series, they haven't beat Arkansas since 2005, 2 decades, and they haven't won in Fayetteville in basically 25 years. Little shy of that. Burke, as I mentioned, was on the team. Michael Jordan was still on the Wizards and signed with them. Barry Bonds hit 73 home runs that season. AIM message was how we communicated as youngsters back then. The iPhone still was not out yet. Tom Brady was just named the New England Patriots starting quarterback. Again, all this is in 2001. Friends was still airing. Blockbuster was still a thing.
Wow.
Harry Potter, first movie came out. And then Will McIntyre was the only player born. A great piece of information by College Baseball, 11.7 College Baseball Podcast, which is a good college baseball podcast. But those things that happen, I love the remember when types. That's a pretty good list that you have to go back to all the way to 2001, Colton.
Yeah, 24 years is a long time. I mean, 2001, this is basically the majority of my whole life, and that's how long it's been since a Tennessee team came into here and was able to conquer the Razorbacks in Baum-Walker Stadium. And you heard DVH mention it right there in the open tie. That's going to be probably one of the key factors this weekend is if you get everybody there, you catch the right pockets of sunshine, it's going to get rowdy, and I think that's going to be the big factor that's going to set the Razorbacks over the edge this weekend. And you know what? I did hear Tom Hart this morning talking about how Tennessee is basically just the antithesis of what your program is. They're the hot shots, look at me, flashy, all this stuff, while they do back it up with their play. And Ty, that's why I titled our intro this morning, Good versus Evil, College Baseball Edition, because good shall prevail this weekend.
Well, I got bad news for everyone listening. Good did not prevail last night, and that's where we get our opening drive going this morning.
Basketball, gimme the ball because I'm gonna dunk it! Lucas Alexander finds a spot. Can't get it before Caruso. Another tip out. Isaiah Joe hits the three. 2 seconds, no foul to give. Halliburton looking. Halliburton driving. Pulse off jump shot. It's gone with 3/10 of a second remaining. Timeout, OKC. Tyrese Halliburton does it again.
This is the Morning Rush, and it's time for the opening drive.
That was rough last night.
On the receiving end of a Halliburton dagger. Feels bad, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's not you had to deal with it last series, and I had to deal with it last night as the Oklahoma City Thunder fall 111-110 to the Indiana Pacers in Paycom. Isaiah had a good game, 5 points, knocked down his only 3-point attempt of the night. Tyrese Halliburton, though, is unbelievable. I don't know if I've seen a more disrespected player that's come up clutch in last year. And he didn't listen to this. So he had a stat line of 14 points, 6 assists, and he had 10 rebounds. So he did nearly have a triple-double. But that's not like explosive. That's not where you were necessarily expecting. They got double digits from all their guys in the starting lineup. Really good starting lineup, but it was painful. It was painful last night. A couple of things here. People, I realize that nowadays, and obviously Arkansas has Walmart and Tyson on the floor. Baycom has a couple sponsors as well. You don't even see the finals. You don't see the trophy logo, the aura that people have talked about. But I think one of the funniest things last night that occurred was in Fort Wayne, Indiana. So imagine if you're a diehard Pacers fan. Like, we're all Razorback fans listening, right? And during the course of a game, now this doesn't necessarily compute with you because Arkansas, like, you got to go way back when to the KATV days when Arkansas used to be on a local affiliate. And I guess CBS to a certain extent might have done this when it was the SEC on CBS. But imagine late in the game, you're a diehard Pacers fan, and your network in Fort Wayne, Indiana, the ABC affiliate, WPTA, does this.
Under, clinging to this 3-point lead. SGA the drive inside, shot blocked. Siakam throws it back. Next on 21 Alive News, the man who was brutally beaten at Pike's Pub last week has come forward. Hear what he wants to have happen now. Also tonight, a big night for Pacer fans as Indiana is in the NBA Finals. We'll show you a local business who has seen a boost from the yes sirs.
And we could see a little fog overnight tonight. We'll have the very latest forecast coming up in a few minutes.
Thanks for staying up with us. I'm Amara Boss. Fort Wayne's most watched news start. SGA guarded by Nimhart.
How is a news director, and I don't know the pecking order because I haven't worked in that business since I was in college, but how do you let that happen? How do you let that happen in a game that Indiana has not been in 25 years? They have not been to the finals since 2000 when Reggie and them lost to Kobe Bryant and the Los Angeles Lakers on their three-peat title run. That is just, it's unheard of. And I can't imagine the outcry and the pushback that our fans would give a local affiliate for doing something like that, Colton.
If you want to be hated as a local journalist, that's one way to definitely do it. That's a way to get started. And, they did catch up with that guy that got assaulted at Pike's Pub. He was in the hospital wearing a Rick Smits jersey, and he said, put the damn game back on. That's egregious that they would cut into that. I'm not sure if somebody fat-fingered the switcher board or what, but Ty, I was watching the really tight game in the Women's College World Series last night.
Texas Tech.
And then I caught Texas Tech also fighting a battle of good and evil last night, and they good one. But I caught the very, very end of that game, and I just knew once Halliburton had the ball in his hands that he was going to do it again because it's arguably one of the clutchest postseasons of all time. I saw a video cut this morning. It was all of Tyrese Halliburton's go-ahead shots in the last minute this series, the last minute of a game this year, and there was like a 2.5-minute clip. Half of that was in this playoff so far, Ty. He's been unreal late game situations.
Yeah, I saw you've seen the front end of it, and I saw the front end of it last night. All right, that's your opening drive. Super regional conversation continues on this morning. We would not have our coverage without the help of Heath Roberts at State Farm. When it comes to insurance, I was looking around, and I chose Heath as my insurance agent. I know State Farm's a big name, but Heath is a local guy, earned my business, walked me through everything, and I really appreciated him taking care of my house, car, and everything else. We're also brought to you by ASU Mountain Home. Over 60 degrees and technical programs. Plus, it's affordable. Number one, Wallet Hub named ASU Mountain Home the number one community college here in Arkansas. You can visit their website online at asumh.edu for more information. And by First Star Bank. For all your first, whether you're saving, borrowing, planning, call or stop in at your local First Star Bank branch. Your hometown banker with all the digital tools. First Star Bank, your hometown bank with all your first. Now, you and I were talking yesterday, Colton. You were telling me there's a new project kind of by your house. Is that right? That just got completed?
Yeah, around where I live, intermediate school around there needed a new fence. There were holes in it. Kids were escaping. I'm kidding. But kids were, it was dangerous. Things could go in and out of the fence. It was not good. Sean and the fence man had that thing taken down in a weekend, put back up, and looked better than I'd ever seen it before. It looks real nice. And then just down the road from there, one of my neighbors had got his fence fixed up. It was old, ratty, had torn down, holes in it. It's got a nice new picket fence now. It looks something straight out of, it was beautiful. It's beautiful.
Well, we bring in our man of the hour, Sean the Fence Man, who we do our Fence Man Friday picks. We'll get to those momentarily. Sean, how long did that job take that Colton was referencing just right there?
Our guys are they're really efficient with what they do. They can come in, set the poles, all the posts that we need to set in probably about a day, and the next day and a half, they can come in and just wrap it up. They're really professionals at what they do. They do a really great job. I have a great team that just, they believe in what we do. They believe in our customers. They know they're helping people have, we're not just putting in fence. We're giving people safety and security when we're out working. And our guys are really proud to do it and do it in an efficient manner. That way, when the fence does come down, that it goes right back up and they feel that security once again.
Well, I know as we have dealt with some weather across our state already this morning, also in parts of Oklahoma as well. Hopefully there's nothing overly substantial that happens, but just seeing some reports, hopefully it stays as minimal and as small as possible. But he's the guy to call again, 479-782-3936. Sean, you ready to pick some games this week in Super Regionals? You ready to go?
I'm excited about what's happening. So, yes, let's get to the pick.
All right, let's get to them.
LSU hosting the Little Rock Trojans.
I'll take them LSU Tigers and lay the 4.5 runs.
I think LSU is going to come out hot in game number 1. Sean, I think they're able to win by 5 or more runs.
I'm with you guys.
Do they get done to get Houston Christian and cover by 5 or more runs?
I'll take the under.
All right, I'm going to say that Houston Christian covers, Sean.
I don't know much about them, so I'm gonna follow your lead on this.
Arkansas also a 4.5 run favorite against the North Dakota State Bison.
I'll take the Hogs and lay the 4.5 runs.
And I think they win by 5 or more runs, Sean, as well.
Yes, yeah, I think we're going to see a couple of grand slams.
Tommy, do they close out the series or do the Knicks stave them off?
Game 7, baby.
I'm going to say the Knicks win tomorrow night.
And I think we're going to game 7.
Well, we started out hot. We got cold real quick, so we're going to have to turn it around this week. Super Regional weekend. You got 3 SEC matchups, one featuring 2 SEC teams, of course, the one in Fayetteville. We'll get to that, but starting with Coastal Carolina, the Chanticleers won a national championship. They are in the plains of Auburn this week, and I guess that's just their football stadium. Colton, since you're inserted for Tommy, I'll let you do the honors. Does this SEC team move on past this weekend?
I don't know, but I'm going to say gut feeling, yes, the teal is real. Give me the Chanticleers to go into the plains in Auburn and take one.
I also have Coastal Carolina moving on this weekend. I think they're playing inspired ball right now, especially after what happened last season. They're going to kind of come together, and they're going to be another SEC team, Sean, like they did with Florida. I've got Coastal Carolina knocking off another SEC team this weekend in Auburn.
I think Coastal Carolina's got a better setup than Auburn, so they're definitely going to win this one.
West Virginia going to Baton Rouge to take on LSU, a place where Arkansas gave it their all. We know about the Zach Root late game. That was an epic one, unfortunately. Went to the Tigers. West Virginia hot. They come out of last weekend, again, Big 12 champion by technicality. Holden, do they continue on their run, or does it stop in Baton Rouge?
Well, John Denver said almost heaven, West Virginia, and that's what I think. It's going to be almost heaven for the Mountaineers. LSU is just too good and talented. I know John Denver was talking about the western part of Virginia and not West Virginia, but LSU, the fact still stands. LSU is just too good. Give me the Tigers.
There's a big battle. I know that I don't know many West Virginia people. My cousin went to West Virginia. I know that's a big debate, and they get awful heated about that. Sean, I've also got LSU advancing. I think you're going to see at least 2 SEC teams in Omaha. The Tigers are one of them. We'll see about Arkansas and Tennessee, but I've got LSU moving on past this weekend.
I'm like you guys, LSU. They seem to just find a way to pull it out in clutch situations. Their regional was really tight, but they came out, They finished it out, and I think they have what it takes to just keep moving forward.
Man, I wish Little Rock would have won that regional. That would have been something if they had made it all the way to the Supers.
That was a great Cinderella story, and it was exciting to see them. And they did give LSU a run, but LSU just had just enough to get it done.
All right, the series of the weekend: Arkansas, Tennessee. And the Razorbacks have not lost to the Vols in 20 years. Haven't lost to them at home since Chris Burke was on the team in 2001. Colton, does that trend continue this weekend?
Not a big fan of the trends of, history and past and present. Only trend I care about is our bullpen trending up, their bullpen's trending down. Give me the Razorbacks. shutdown weekend for our guys out of the pen.
Sean, I know this got some family in Tennessee as well. This is probably a big series ahead for your family. What are we thinking past this weekend?
It's going to be a fun game. It's going to be house divided, no doubt about it. But Colton's right. If our bullpen comes out and our pitching staff is sharp, we can pitch a no hitter. We've got this win. But if we can't pitch, I'm afraid Tennessee's going to give us a run. But I am going to go with my Hogs. They're going to make it, but they're not going to win the first one, but they're going to take the last two.
I'm going to do everyone a favor. I'm going to sacrifice my Fence Man Friday picks and pick Tennessee to move on. So this team will be in Omaha, Nebraska next week.
Thank you.
The Razorbacks will be in Omaha, Nebraska. I'm picking Tennessee, so Arkansas will advance
Way to fall on the sword.
Past next week. All right, we do it every single Friday. Fence Man Friday picks, as Colton was talking about earlier, was a residential project right next to him or a commercial one. Sean, you can do it all. Gates, security. I mean, call you at 479-782-3936, and you're going to take care of people.
Yes, we will. We have a great sales staff. You want a fence, all of our appointments are free. We'll come out and give you a free estimate. We'll walk through it with you. You've got ideas of what you want to do, styles of fence, where you want your fence, the height of the fence. I mean, I can't tell you how much I'm proud of my team there. They all are just done really well. They all are experts in their field, and they'll take the time that the customer needs to make sure they get the fence that they're wanting to help their home look beautiful and feel security at the same time. So we're here for you at the Fence Man.
Sean, enjoy your weekend. Might need to stay indoors based on the rain and everything else, and we'll talk next week, hopefully talking about a couple picks here in Omaha, Nebraska.
Well, I hope we can put some mud on your face since you picked Tennessee, so we'll see.
I hope so, too. That's Sean, the Fitzman again, 479-782-3936. He ain't afraid of no work.
Hogs are going to the Supers.
And the Rooster. Yep, he's strutting to the dugout.
Our exclusive coverage of the 2025 Fayetteville Super Regionals is brought to you by State Farm Insurance Agent Heath Roberts, ASU Mountain Home, and by First Star Bank.
Need a new fence but not ready to pay all at once? The Fence Man, serving Fort Smith for over 40 years, offers 18-month financing so you can secure your home or office now and pay over time. Free quotes, custom designs, and the expertise to accomplish what most can't. Call 479-782-3936 or visit thefencemanAR.com. The Fence Man, he ain't afraid of no work.
Largemouth bass will be spawning soon at ponds and lakes all over Arkansas and Oklahoma. One of the best lures to catch them on at this time is the famous Yum Dinger. We make them by the truckloads in Fort Smith in 3, 4, 5, and 6-inch sizes, and they are in tackle boxes of bass anglers all over the U.S. and all over the world. Wacky rigging the 5-inch model can't be beat for spawning bass. Available at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops, Academy, LureNet.com, and tackle stores all over the place. The Yum Dinger.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's #1 mobile app for placing sports wagers.
There's big news in the mobile sports betting business. Bet Saracen was just named the 15th largest sports book in America. That's because Arkansans like to do business with a winner. Find all your winners on Bet Saracen. Download it today and look for my RR prop bet specials. I pick them, you win them.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's favorite sports wagering app.
Gambling problem? Call 800-522-4700.
I think I spent a little too much money buying these people beers.
This is the Morning Rush.
Do you want to be home every weekend, use brand new equipment, and make a competitive salary? Then let me tell you about Lavorne Lumber.
They're looking to fill a regional over-the-road position. So if this sounds like a great next job opportunity for you,
call 479-646-4685. That's 646-4685.
515 Phoenix Avenue in Fort Smith and online at Lavorne, Lovvorn lumber.com.
Lavorne Lumber. Pam and the Bills will take care of you.
Hi, everybody. Larry Rath here from Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, where all we do is keep you
Rolling. If you're looking for the best used car your money can buy, check out our great selection of road ready certified vehicles with warranty. If you're trading or selling your car, let us give you a free second opinion and leave with a check in your hand. If you're keeping the car you have, let us take care of it for you in the Meineke Car Care Center. Plus, follow us on Facebook for special offers and fun contests. All the happiest drivers are rolling with Rath. Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, Fort Smith.
Dozy Place has now been serving award-winning steaks for over 20 years. Celebrate your special birthday, holiday, person, or just because at Dozy Place. Start with delicious appetizers and your choice of drinks from the largest selection of wines, beer, and liquor in the River Valley. Dozy Place is open Tuesday through Thursday 5 till 9 and Friday and Saturday 5 till 10. Reservations are recommended, so call 784-9111. 784-9111 for Dozy Place, 422 North 3rd Street, Fort Smith.
Top CDL Academy is a licensed Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration that provides the federal required training to obtain both Class A and Class B CDL licenses. Our program provides assistance with employment after graduation. We have finance and grant options available. Students straight out of class have started new careers earning $70,000 to $140,000 per year, and training is provided for all 50 states. Call today, 479-632-1050. COP CDL Academy.
Are you paying more than $95 a month for your website? Modular Orange specializes in building professional custom websites for service businesses just like yours for $95 a month with no upfront costs. There's a reason lawyers, dentists, accountants, counselors, plumbers, and electricians all trust Modular Orange to build their online presence. And they don't stop there. They also offer SEO and digital advertising at prices that will blow the competition away. Ready to get started? Go to modularorange.com today. That's modularorange.com.
Superior Siding and Windows have been improving homes in Fort Smith and the River Valley for over 44 years. Whether your need is siding, vinyl windows, doors, or gutters, Superior Siding is the one to call if you want it done right the first time. Call 479-646-7888 for a free estimate. 100% financing is available, and Superior Siding has AAA rating with Better Business Bureau. Superior Siding, your first call, 479-646-7888.
At Our Best Bank, we believe small businesses are the backbone of our communities. That's why we help businesses of all kinds find their strength. Whether you're just getting your business off the ground, planning for future growth, or managing the day-to-day, we want to help you thrive. Because everyone deserves a financial partner who cares. Our Best Bank. We believe.
Are you ready to indulge in an unforgettable fine dining experience? Then come join us at Uncorked, where every meal is a masterpiece, crafted with the finest ingredients to tantalize your taste buds. And with our extensive selection of cocktails, wine, craft beer, and bourbons, we've got something for everyone. So why not take a break from the ordinary and join us on Phoenix Avenue next to Sodi's? Come savor the moment with us at Uncorked, where every visit is a celebration.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
There's only one Razorback.
Uncle Tommy loves the Razorbacks.
Razorback fans, let's stand up and call those.
107 down.
This one belongs to the Razorbacks. Ball's on the ground, picked up by Colin. Alex has got room.
Everybody move big Dewey.
This is your Hog Update on the Morning Rush. Brought to you by Mr. Sparky. Need a licensed electrician to service your home? For one of their local pros, call 888-8-SPARKY.
The atmosphere should be electric. You know, the weather here this week has been in and out rain, windy and warm, storms. But once we get through like Friday night, it looks like the weather's going to be pretty nice, upper 70s, 80 degrees, and should be, a situation where offensively both teams won't be stopped much by the weather, so to speak. It's going to be a little nutty.
That's Dave Van Horn earlier this week on Sirius XM talking about this weekend. I mean, you think about the first series where Arkansas ends up losing game one. And I was nervous. Liam Doyle, best pitcher in the league, game two. Sure enough, Arkansas bounces back. He has his maybe worst outing of the season. The Razorbacks are able to take game three as well. So I don't expect either way this game to be a two-game Super Regional. I mean, this thing's making it to Monday. I'd be shocked if the Vols or Razorbacks pulled it out in 2 games. But I know everyone is excited about that. That's the Arkansas perspective. What about what are they thinking about with the Razorbacks? Here's Tony Vitello.
We got work to do. They're good. I mean, if I'm not mistaken, they're by default, or as we now stand, they're the number 1 seed or the favorite to win the whole thing. So they're good. We knew that, learned that last time. That hasn't changed. I know as well as anyone that it's a rowdy environment to play in, and they'll probably kick it up a notch this time of year as our fans did last year. But I mean, it's an SEC series, just has different labels to it for circumstances that follow and definitely circumstances that precede it.
Circumstances.
Yeah, I hopefully all the people that are in Northwest Arkansas that have been persevering this week that got there on Monday. Hopefully weather's not going to be too bad heading into tomorrow. Looks like we're going to be okay the rest of the week, and hopefully knock on wood, hopefully it stays that way. It was fun to talk with Chris Lanzilli earlier this week. Former Razorback, was part of that 2022 College World Series team, and discuss with him like just the experience he had as a fan relative than a player. You know, I'm a little jealous. Phil and Matt get to do halftime at Rudy's Barbecue in Fayetteville today, and I can't imagine what they're cooking. I'm hungry this morning. It's 9:30. I'm starving. I know there's going to be great food at the Hog Pen this weekend. This is what again you pay your season tickets for. Here's my thing. I understand trying to make your money back. But if you're going to have season tickets and the opportunity to sit in great seats all season long, why would you give those up for the best weekend of the year in that stadium, in that facility? Again, I fully acknowledge I didn't pay the amount of money it takes to spend on those tickets. But at the same time, I was like, has there been a more anticipated series? I guess you could argue Texas at number 1. You know, Arkansas would struggle a little bit, but this is postseason. And correct me if I'm wrong, and I want people that are 30, 40 years older than me to tell me I'm wrong on this, please. Has the Tennessee Volunteers, have they superseded the Texas Longhorns in baseball? Now, maybe that's an egregious take. Maybe it's way up. Maybe I'm just living in the moment of what's happening right now. I don't necessarily like Jim Schlossnagle. I thought what he did to the A&M Aggies last year was one of the dirtiest things I've ever seen. And I have no problem, no issues most of the time with people doing anything wrong to Texas A&M. But I thought that was gross last year. But is that Tennessee? Is it up to Texas? Maybe it's just a week of the Super Regional. Maybe I'm reading too much into it. But just something to think about here on a Fastball Friday, brought to you by QC Kinetix. All right, that is your Hog Update. It's always brought to you by our friends at Mr. Sparky.
You don't have to put up with any malarkey. Call 888-8-SPARKY.
All right, I want you to be honest with me, Colton. It's National Drive-In Movie Day. Have you ever been to a drive-in movie?
I have. Before the one in Fayetteville was closed down, I did. I saw a double feature. Wall-E, terrible movie to see.
You didn't like? I was going to say Wall-E's
good.
I like Wall-E.
It was okay. Ty, like the first 30 minutes of that movie, there's no talking.
Okay.
So I was a kid. It was no bueno then, but it was pretty good.
Let's bring in our friend Larry Rath of Rath Auto Resources, who I'm guessing back in his day had gone to a drive-in movie theater or two. Larry, do you remember? Is there an instance or a moment? Colin just brought up Wall-E. Is there one that you remember back in the day?
Oh yeah, we used to go. We'd wear our pajamas and sleep in the back seat when we were little kids, and Goldfinger scared the heck out of me. I mean, it really shook me up because I wasn't sleeping. I was watching.
And that's
drive-in theater.
007, right? The old James Bond movie, correct?
Old James Bond movie. Yeah, you're saying back in my day. Yeah, I'm getting you back there.
Well,
that's back in the day, man.
I know you probably had a sweet ride then, and you got plenty of them now. Plus, we got the summer sales drive going on. It's summer, man. People want to take advantage of a new vehicle, and they can stop by and see you at Rath Auto Resources and David at Rath Mitsubishi in Springdale.
Absolutely. We're really making it easy. We've marked this inventory down. We've got a lot of used cars right now, cars, trucks, SUVs, whatever you're looking for. Road Ready certified with warranty. You cannot buy a better used car. Road Ready certified, only available at Rath Auto Resources in Fort Smith, Rath Mitsubishi in Springdale. Like I said, a big selection. Recently marked down. Folks, you're going to save some money. We're having a big hail sale in Springdale. That 3 weeks ago, that storm that came through, we still got some of those hail vehicles. If you're looking to save a bunch of money, That's one way to do it. If you've got a car that's held on and you want to trade it off, we can certainly help with that and leave some of that insurance money in your pocket at Rath Mitsubishi in Springdale. Down in Fort Smith, discounts up to $5,800. That's real savings on a great inventory. We'd love a chance to help you start driving better today. Rath Auto Resources in Fort Smith, Rath Mitsubishi in Springdale. Check us out online, rathauto.com.
And a guy that has seen a drive-through movie back in the day. Next time you stop in and see Larry, ask him some more drive-through movie instances. I guarantee he has a few of them like Goldfinger. Larry, have a great rest of your weekend. Hopefully the rest of the weather stays away, and we'll talk next week.
Thanks, guys. Y'all have a good one. Folks, come and see us.
Morning Rush Daily Question when we come back.
Root kicks and deals. He struck him out swinging.
This is Fastball Friday on the Morning Rush. Presented by QC Kinetix. Get real lasting relief from chronic joint pain.
Need a new fence but not ready to pay all at once? The Fence Man, serving Fort Smith for over 40 years, offers 18-month financing so you can secure your home or office now and pay over time. Free quotes, custom designs, and the expertise to accomplish what most can't. Call 479-782-3936 or visit thefencemanAR.com. The Fence Man, he ain't afraid of no work.
Largemouth bass will be spawning soon at ponds and lakes all over Arkansas and Oklahoma. One of the best lures to catch them on at this time is the famous Yum Dinger. We make them by the truckloads in Fort Smith in 3, 4, 5, and 6-inch sizes, and they are in tackle boxes of bass anglers all over the U.S. and all over the world. Wacky rigging the 5-inch model can't be beat for spawning bass. Available at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops, Academy, LureNet.com, and tackle stores all over the place. The Yum Dinger.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's #1 mobile app for placing sports wagers.
There's big news in the mobile sports betting business. Bet Saracen was just named the 15th largest sports book in America. That's because Arkansans like to do business with a winner. Find all your winners on Bet Saracen. Download it today and look for my RR prop bet specials. I pick them, you win them.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's favorite sports wagering app.
Gambling problem? Call 800-522-4700.
Knowing if something bad happens, with the coaching staff, I know that I'll still want to be in Fayetteville regardless.
This is the Morning Rush.
Hi, everybody. Larry Rath here from Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, where all we do is keep you rolling. If you're looking for the best used car your money can buy, check out our great selection of road-ready certified vehicles with warranty. If you're trading or selling your car, let us give you a free second opinion and leave with a check in your hand. If you're keeping the car you have, let us take care of it for you in the Meineke Car Care Center. Plus, follow us on Facebook for special offers and fun contests. All the happiest drivers are rolling with Rath. Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, Fort Smith.
The Golf Nut is thrilled to introduce new products for 2025, including Cobra Dark Speed Adapt Woods and Irons, King G440 Woods and Irons, and TaylorMade QI35 Woods. Lap putters, including the latest OZ model, are also available. Whether you want to improve your swing or enjoy the game, the Golf Nut offers a range of options. Book a lesson or fitting on one of our indoor simulators and experience golfing greatness. Visit the Golf Nut at 5121 Towson Avenue for your ultimate golfing destination.
Precision Garage Door features the finest quality materials, installation, and service for all your garage door needs, including garage door repair and new garage doors and openers. Fully licensed and insured with the largest showroom in Northwest Arkansas at 1907 Town West Drive in Rogers and in Fort Smith at 416 North 10th Street. Call Precision Garage Door today at 844-PDS-DOOR or check them out online at PrecisionDoorNWA.com. Financing is available. Precision Garage Door, voted Best Garage Door Company of Northwest Arkansas and the River Valley.
I have enough trouble deciding what's for lunch. Imagine how stressed I was during the home buying process. Thankfully, Jeff Marks at Weicker Realtors, the Griffin Company, took the reins.
That's right, Ty. Buying or selling a home is the biggest financial decision you'll ever make. I have years of experience and proven expertise that help guide you through the process.
All my female friends love my house. I'm not kidding either.
Trust me like Ty did to guide you through every step of the way. Call me, Jeff Marks, at 479-414-1193. Big decisions, simple solutions.
When second's making a play, short's got to cover.
A winning insurance strategy doesn't rely on one person.
Good hustle, good hustle.
Communicate with your guys and make sure everyone's in the right cover. It takes a team that knows its roles well, working together to provide an exceptional experience.
At the screen, you have to protect yourself. 1, 2, 3,
At Shelter Insurance, you can count on our local agents and award-winning customer service to help you protect what matters most.
Call Wade Gilkey or Chris Dooley in Fort Smith.
Do you hide your smile because of chipped, stained, or uneven teeth? Or feel like your smile doesn't match the way you feel inside? This is Dr. Charles Liggett at River Valley Smile Center. We offer custom veneers, full mouth rehabilitation, and even Botox to help you look and feel your best. We combine our expert care and artistic skill to create beautiful, natural-looking results, all while keeping you relaxed and comfortable. Right, Matt?
Time to love your smile again. Call 479-646-0706 or visit rivervalleysmiles.com to schedule your consultation today.
Do you love cooking and being a part of a great team? Hey, it's Ty Richardson, and I was talking to Linda Newmeyer the other day. Papa's Pub and Pizzeria, Newmeyer's Rib Room, and Newmeyer's Whippoorwill are hiring kitchen staff. Stop by any of the 3 restaurants in downtown Fort Smith. I used to work at a pizza place back in the day. Maybe I'd give it a shot. Papa's Pub and Pizzeria, the Whippoorwill, and Rib Room. Apply today and join the Newmeyer family.
You're hired. Come back tomorrow at noon for training.
Summer is finally here, and so are the road trips that you've had planned. That's why it's time to visit us at Southern Tire Mart. Southern Tire Mart's expert service, competitive pricing, and top quality tires will ensure your vehicle is ready for all your summer adventures. Visit us in Fort Smith at 9700 Highway 271 and let us ensure your vehicle is prepared for the summer. Southern Tire Mart is a proud dealer of Yokohama tires. Southern Tire Mart. We keep America rolling.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3. Time for the Carpat Social Morning Rush Daily Question.
All right, you men. I'm going to ask you a question, and I want you to answer to the best of your ability.
It's going to be a quick answer to an incredibly terrible, long question.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul.
Check out Nate and Kristen's place in Lowell online at carpatsocial.com.
Before we get to our Carpath Social Morning Rush Daily Question, I got to read this from Kevin here on the Lewis Automotive Group hotline. Tony says, by default, what an arrogant coach. I don't think that humbleness is necessarily a strength of Vitello. And that's coming from a guy in myself that occasionally can be a cocky SOB a time or two. Just, I think most people would agree with that. And the latter two. All right, Morning Rush Daily Question. So, Arkansas football sent out the deadline to make your request for away tickets yesterday. I'm sending it. We've got various friends that live in different parts of the United States that going to different games. All right, you've got the opportunity as a Razorback fan, all expenses paid. Tommy pulls out the checkbook. Hey, Joe and Texarkana, what game do you want to go to? Jump in here on Lewis Automotive Group hotline 877-377-6963. Call and I'll direct this to you. I'll answer it, and then we'll take some feedback. Oxford on September the 13th, close in proximity for a lot of our Little Rock and Eastern Arkansas listeners. And Memphis the 20th, even closer. Tennessee, October 11th, which, no Nico, maybe there's a chance. At LSU, November the 15th. Nussmeier late in season. We'll see what happens there. That should be a really tough team by then. And then at Texas, the team I think you're actually going to beat this year on November the 22nd. Play Georgia the week before. They play A&M the week after. They don't care about Arkansas. I think you got a shot in that game. Which of those 5 matchups do you want to go to, all expenses paid?
Out of those 5 road games, I have no desire to step foot in the state of Tennessee, especially Memphis.
Okay.
So I'm going to cross out Memphis.
Crossing out Memphis and Tennessee. Okay.
Baton Rouge would be great. I've always wanted to see a game in Death Valley, but I do think I'm going to choose the one in Oxford just because I know that it'll be a great tailgating scene. Ole Miss never loses the tailgate, and I think that's that's probably the game they have one of the best chances of winning outside of the state of Tennessee. So love to go see a game in Oxford against the Rebels. Start the season.
And you alluded to this week, with the exception of last year. Pittman's been close.
Very competitive series.
Now, Arkansas kind of ran wild back in 2022, but this has been a close series, back and forth. 2020, Matt Corral, 6-pick, 5-pick game, whatever it was. 2021, best game of the year in ESPN. 22, Rocket goes wild. 23, another good game, 27-20. KJ throw those 2 picks. I want to do horrible things to myself after. And then last year, again, Jackson Dart eats you alive. But that's the That's typically a good series. Gavin says the only correct answer is LSU. The food, the vibes are second to none. Gavin, I'm going to agree with you. I've never experienced a game in Austin. Apparently the quietest 100,000 seat stadium in the country. But LSU, now I was a little underwhelmed. I'm not going to lie. Florida was louder. Robert at the Stadium Shop will attest to this. He used to be down in Gainesville. The Swamp is louder, at least the game I went to 2 years ago, than LSU. LSU also doesn't care about you. And I think that's what's so frustrating for a lot of Arkansas fans. And that's what makes this weekend great. Because Tennessee cares about beating you this weekend.
They do.
And they're going at you on social media. And their coach and your coach have had a spat publicly. And I still don't know if they actually like each other. I don't know if they like to play it up or if there's genuine disdain for the guy in cardinal and white and the guy in orange and white. I don't know. Some relationships sour. Some relationships get stronger over time. But that's why this weekend is so beautiful. Because there's actually an opposing fan base that cares as much as you do about advancing. Now, you can make the case. We'll talk with Burke about this in about 45 minutes from now. I think he's going to be in the airport coming over here. No, Tennessee baseball does not have the same reputation and fan base as you. And I'm not homering up here. It's just a fact. But they do have the hardware, and they picked it up last year, and they're going to be rubbing it in your face all this weekend. So the only way you can shut them up is if you win. And I'm not just talking about the fans. I'm talking about the players, because the players are going to be chirping at Arkansas guys too. And I know the viral clip's been going on with Will McIntyre and the delays and other stuff that's been going on. Just know it's coming this weekend. I would say of the five, still LSU. I'm hoping that Arkansas can give them a run. Tennessee, and SEC wise, Tennessee and Oxford, your best bets. Like, if you're not like me and thinking you can win, but I still think that you might win that game against Texas. In fact, I do think you're going to win that game against the Longhorns. All right, baseball talk coming up. Do want to mention one more football story with Aaron Rodgers. That is your Cart Pass Social Morning Rush Daily Question. We've been telling you about their 1-year anniversary event coming up. They've also got a free family golf day with First Tee of Northwest Arkansas on Saturday, June the 14th. Ages kids 4 to 14. It's from 9 to 11 a.m. at Cart Pass Social. Kids can decorate their own golf balls and take home. Adults can get on the fun too. Free golf glove decorating station. I've got a lot of friends, and I don't have a significant other. You all know that. But one of their wives and girlfriends' favorite thing to do is like custom golf gear. So that could be fun. Cool setting, 100% free to participate. Tell your friends, bring the family. Be a part of the birthday bash weekend going on at Cart Pass Social. Go to cartpasssocial.com for all the details. The #1 indoor golf facility in all of Arkansas. Tell Christian, tell Nate, tell Oscar, tell Haley that the Morning Rush and ESPN Arkansas sent you. All right, so Aaron Rodgers is winding up in the Pittsburgh.
What do you think about possibly Aaron Rodgers being the quarterback? That's a joke. He shouldn't. That is just, to me, is a joke. What are you going to do? Bring him in for 1 year? Are you kidding me? That guy needs to stay in California, go somewhere and chew on bark and whisper to the guys out there.
I would have been falling over if I was Basil there, but it's happening. 1-year deal. Supposed to be at minicamp next week. He's going to turn 42 this year. Now, people acted like he was awful last season. He threw 29 touchdowns and 11 picks.
Almost 4,000 yards.
Yeah.
On the Jets.
Now, you have Garrett Wilson. You have Devontae Adams. You've got some pieces. There has been some here's some interesting. I saw a report on this week. There's some interesting speculation. So Pickens is on the Cowboys now. Who's he going to throw the ball to? Traylon Burks' name has been mentioned. I don't know if there's any truth to that, and I don't know if Traylon wants to go to the Steel City. I know Phil wouldn't mind seeing him in the Steel City. Nashville's a little closer to Warren than Pittsburgh, but that's happening this year. Evidently, him, Mike Tomlin, and the Rooney family have come to an agreement, and Rodgers is going to spend at least a year in Pittsburgh.
That is
Metcalf's on the Steelers. Thank you, Cody.
That is kind of like we heard Bradshaw kind of allude to it right there, but the bridge quarterback thing, that is a little bit foreign. That is kind of a strange thing for Steelers. For a long time, they've had, a tradition at quarterback, and now within the last 5 years, you've had Ben Roethlisberger, Russell Wilson, and now Aaron Rodgers will start games for you at quarterback. So it's a little different. Now, I'm sure that Mike Tomlin will still find a way to win 9 games, but it's very strange, and I don't know if they'll be able to get any receivers in there. As for Treylon Burks, look, what he needs to focus on is having one season where he stays fully healthy.
Yep.
Because that would be great for him and his career. But if he would go to the to Pittsburgh, he could help out Aaron Rodgers, because you said it, Ty. Aaron Rodgers at his worst with a good offensive line like they have in Pittsburgh, a serviceable offensive line, is better than a lot of quarterbacks in this league and a lot of teams. So I still think he's got some of that good football IQ that you need, and it may be what they need to kind of do that gap year. But Bradshaw could be right. He could have been better off somewhere in a cave.
Who knows? Who knows what's going to play out there? All right, back to baseball in just a bit. We're brought to you by Brothers Roofing and Restoration. They're properly licensed, local insured contractor here in Arkansas. Brothers nearly got 3 decades of experience when it comes to an adjuster and roofing. Their crews have over 20 years of experience. He provides free estimates and the most competitive pricing. Call 479-353-3877. That's 479-353-3877 for Brothers Roofing and Restoration. Definitely might need to take advantage of it after that this weekend. I will say, Colton, that as a homeowner, I never thought about any of this stuff now, and then all the stuff that Tommy's been talking about the last 6 years. So it's like, okay, I probably need to actually pay attention to some of this stuff. Mention coming back to what's happening here in Fayetteville this weekend. Hopefully the weather stays away. More thoughts from Dave Van Horn, who was on Sirius XM earlier this week.
It would be 80%. We need to do what we do well, and we need to just kind of fine-tune that. You just don't want the players to kind of think that the coaches are in a little bit of a panic mode because we're doing all kinds of stuff we haven't done all year. Just keep doing what you're doing. Try to be as prepared as you can for the team that's coming in. And in this case, we played each other a 3-game series. We've seen them play a game in the tournament. We know what they do. We know what they do well, and that's pitch and score. And we know what we do well. And if both teams are doing that well, it's going to be an incredible series.
Yeah, I think it's a 3-game series. So what does Arkansas do well? Well, they got the single-season record for home runs. So you can add that to the tally. They've got a really, really good pitching staff from a depth perspective. Zach Root showed out last weekend. So did Gage Wood. Can you get 2 of those performances, or who will you go with? Will you see Cheese on Monday? Will you see Jimenez on Monday? I mean, what do you do if it does go to 3 games? That is something that Matt Hobbs and Dave Van Horn have probably had countless conversations about here the last few days. You saw a little bit more small ball this last weekend. Do they implement even more of that to keep Tennessee guessing? I mean, there's a lot of elements for Arkansas that you're encouraged by when it comes to them being, I think, 2nd in fielding, number 1 in hitting, and again, you got an all-SEC pitcher. Mm-hmm. And by the way, I mean, Gackle's still a heck of a reliever. If you really feel like you're forced in a situation, maybe you could start him in a game 3, depending on how long he comes to games 1, if he pitches that game 1 as well. All right, that's more to get to here on the Morning Rush Super Regional coverage. We've got more to discuss in hour number 2, including a conversation with Chris Burke, who will be on the call this weekend. We are brought to you by Farm Credit of Western Arkansas. You can visit myaglender.com. Drop by one of their 25 locations across our state. They've been doing it more than 100 years. So whether it's building a new home or sprucing up an existing one, help them find the finance to remodel your current or new home. Again, over 100 years, Farm Credit of Western Arkansas, myaglender.com, or visit one of those 25 locations today. We'll also get into more Tony Vitello audio. What are your thoughts on this upcoming Super Regional this weekend? That is coming up next.
At Our Best Bank, we believe small businesses are the backbone of our communities. That's why we help businesses of all kinds find their strength. Whether you're just getting your business off the ground, planning for future growth, or managing the day-to-day, we want to help you thrive. Because everyone deserves a financial partner who cares. Arvest Bank. We believe.
Looking for a fence that stands out and stands strong? Call the Fence Man, 479-782-3936. Serving the Fort Smith area for over 40 years, the Fence Man builds custom, one-of-a-kind fences, residential, commercial, and high security. Need automatic gates? The Fence Man does it. Need financing? You got it. 18-month financing is available. Get your free quote today at thefencemanar.com. Or call 479-782-3936. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work.
Largemouth bass will be spawning soon at ponds and lakes all over Arkansas and Oklahoma. One of the best lures to catch them on at this time is the famous Yum Dinger. We make them by the truckloads in Fort Smith in 3, 4, 5, and 6-inch sizes, and they are in tackle boxes of bass anglers all over the U.S. and all over the world. Wacky rigging the 5-inch model can't be beat for spawning bass. Available at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops, Academy, LureNet.com, and tackle stores all over the place. The Yum Dinger.
Roback's got the gear for your perfect summer day. Shop polos, hoodies, Q-tips, and much more in the American Summer Collection at Roback.com.
Roback made finding the perfect pair of pants or shorts much easier. They're a clean fit with comfortable premium fabric. They look great on and off the golf course. So shop at Roback.com for the Delta pants and shorts.
You're going to get 20% off your first order. Just use the code RUSH25 at Roback.com.
This is the Morning Rush.
Up to $10,000 off on select GMC Sierras at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. The GMC Sierra will conquer the road with confidence. Up to $10,000 off. Or lease the all-new 2025 GMC Hummer EV with hands-free driving assistance and go 0 to 60 in under 3 seconds for as low as $900 a month. Harry Robinson Buick GMC. We are professional grade. Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
I have enough trouble deciding what's for lunch. Imagine how stressed I was during the home buying process. Thankfully, Jeff Marks at Weichert Realtors, the Griffin Company, took the reins.
That's right, Ty. Buying or selling a home is the biggest financial decision you'll ever make. I have years of experience and proven expertise that help guide you through the process.
All my female friends love my house. I'm not kidding either.
Trust me like Ty did to guide you through every step of the way. Call me, Jeff Marks, at 479-414-1193. Big decisions, simple solutions.
When seconds making a play, short's got to cover.
A winning insurance strategy doesn't rely on one person.
Good hustle, good hustle.
Communicate with your guys and make sure everyone's in the right coverage. It takes a team that knows its roles well, working together to provide an exceptional experience.
Set the screen. You have to protect yourself. 1, 2, 3,
At Shelter Insurance, you can count on our local agents and award-winning customer service to help you protect what matters most.
Call Wade Gilkey or Chris Dooley in Fort Smith.
Here's to you and yours from the friendly folks at In Good Spirits, your upscale liquor store in Fort Smith. At In Good Spirits, they've got what your taste buds are craving, including flavorful wines from around the world, scrumptious brandies and liqueurs, tempting whiskeys and beers, and fine cigars. Treat yourself to the best as you listen to the game. Check out In Good Spirits, 12100 Highway 71 South, across from Riley Farms in Fort Smith.
When your carpets, upholstery, and floors look dirty and stained, call your local Service Master Clean at 646-4087. Service Master Clean is an industry leader and can remove the toughest stains from your home or office. And they back their work with a satisfaction guarantee. Eliminate dirt and grime from your carpet, hardwood, tile, and laminate floors. Call your local Service Master Clean, 479-646-4087. That's 646-4087 or online at servicemasterpc.com.
Hey, Ty Richardson, back in my favorite place, Papa's Pub and Pizzeria in downtown Fort Smith here with Brooklyn, one of the new gals. Y'all have got a great special on Monday, Brooklyn.
Yes, we have our $3 domestic drafts, our Bud Lights, Miller Lights, Coors Light, Yingling, Shinerbach, Michelob Ultra, some super cold mugs, and 10 wings for $8.95.
Come on by and see us at 508 Garrison Avenue in downtown Fort Smith. Papa's Pub and Pizzeria, the best darn pizza in Fort Smith, perhaps the world.
Sharp Equipment is your one-stop shop for heavy equipment. Whether your machine's rattling, sputtering, or flat out refusing to start, we've got the parts and expertise to get you moving again. Looking for a new piece of heavy equipment? Look no further than Sharp Equipment, an authorized Wacker Newson dealer. Needing hydraulic or industrial hoses? Sharp Equipment's got what you need. Come see us at 5608 Wheeler Avenue in Fort Smith, or give us a call at 479-649-0500. At Sharp Equipment, we help you move more than just the world. We help you move forward.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, an increase in the cloud cover, chance of showers, a few scattered thunderstorms. Our high temperatures this afternoon, low 80s north, upper 80s south. Another chance of showers and scattered storms tonight. An overnight low will drop down mid to upper 60s, and then occasional showers and storms on Saturday. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by In Good Spirits, Fort Smith's premier source for fine wines, specialty beers, and liquor.
KERX Paris Fort Smith. The Bud Light Countdown is on. Arkansas football begins in 85 days.
A fastball hit high in the air by Maxwell to deep right field, back towards the video board. That ball's out of here. The third Razorback home run tonight.
You have to not worry about all the other things. You just got to go play. Yeah, you can dive into the other team as much as you want, dissect it. If we do what we do, we'll have a chance to win. If we don't, we won't.
Pitch hit high in the air, center field. Coming on, Justin Thomas. Coming on, sliding. He made the catch. And this one belongs to the Razorbacks.
We got work to do. They're good. I mean, if I'm not mistaken, they're by default, or as we now stand, they're the number one seed or the favorite to win the whole thing. I know as well as anyone that it's a rowdy environment to play in, and they'll probably kick it up a notch this time of year as our fans did last year. But I mean, it's an SEC series, just has different labels to it for circumstances that follow and definitely circumstances that precede it.
You know, we played each other a 3-game series. We've seen them play a game in the tournament. We know what they do. We know what they do well, and that's pitch and score. We know what we do well, and if both teams are doing that well, it's going to be an incredible series. The atmosphere should be electric. Once we get through like Friday night, it looks like the weather's going to be pretty nice, upper 70s, 80 degrees, and it's going to be a little nutty.
Live from the Busch Light Studios, this is The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson and Tommy Kraft.
You know, I guess the only disappointing thing about today here on a Fastball Friday brought to you by QC Kinetix is you don't have a game to react to.
Wait.
And you don't have a game to watch later on tonight or to take in listening to Phil and Bubba here on ESPN Arkansas. HitThatLine.com and our Hit That Line Now app powered by Taco Bell. That's the only bad thing. Again, some great build-up, some great lead-up. There's a reason ESPN sent its A crew. We're going to talk to one of those members coming up, Chris Burke, in about 30 minutes. Kyle Peterson, Tom Hart going to be here this weekend broadcasting from Baum Walker Stadium. 4 o'clock, we'll have pregame coverage beginning at 3 tomorrow here with Colt and myself on ESPN Arkansas. We'll get to the Lewis Automotive Group hotline momentarily. Fastball Friday brought to you by QC Kinetix. I know Tommy's taking advantage of QC Kinetix with his shoulder. Maybe you've just been dealing with some joint pain for a while. You're sick. You're tired of it. Say, Ty, I'm done. Can't do this anymore. Well, then make the decision to move to QC Kinetix today. 479-999-1234. I'm not going to pretend to explain everything that goes on with the biological treatment and the regenerative medicine. I just know there's over tens of thousands of people that have gone about with these treatments and they're living life again. Whether you like hiking, playing basketball, golfing, whatever. You don't want to deal with that. Well, QC Kinetix can help you with that. Call them today for a free consultation, 479-999-1234. That's 479-999-1234 for QC Kinetix.
But it's also different. I remember getting here, and collectively as a staff, we had success recruiting at Arkansas, and the stadium helped and all that. But people here are like, yeah, just do what you did at Arkansas. They're winning some games, and it's a total different place. Same league, state university, flagship school, and all that. But Knoxville's different, and baseball in our state's different, and the way we want to do some things here is a little bit different. So the bottom line is all that stuff's extra. They say SEC, it just means more. And a lot of the things that fall under that true cliche, I think it are at both places, and that's why the last series was fun. And like I said, they bested us, so we got work to do.
See if they can best him again this weekend or if it goes the opposite. Arky's called in here this morning. He's got some thoughts on this series here on the Lewis Automotive Group hotline. Arky, welcome into the program. What's going on?
Week, to hype, the build up, and certainly excited about the weekend, and can't wait for Saturday to get here and watch the Hogs, lace up the spikes and get after it. And the build up and the hype has been, what everybody would expect. We're going to have to pitch well. We're going to have to hit well. We're going to have to do those things. But through all my years' experience as a coach, I just keep thinking as we get closer and closer that it's just going to boil down to the team that makes the fewest mistakes. I mean, when the talent is that high and the skill level and the ability of two great teams at this time of year, the mistakes have got to be minimized. And when you make them, and you're going to, the other teams are going to be able to exploit them. You think earlier in the year you played midweek games, maybe some lesser opponents. You can make some mistakes and get away with them because the other team can't necessarily exploit them all the time. But I think we're going to have to play mistake-free. And for the most part, I don't want to jinx them, but for the most part, I think the Razorback baseball team has done a good job of minimizing the mistakes all year long. So I think that's what it's going to boil down to this weekend.
Argy, I got to go back and double check. I believe they're number 1 in the league in fielding and number 2 in all of college baseball. The mistakes you're talking about, one of the things I've kind of looked at this week is Tennessee is one of the best. I think they're number 1 in the conference and number 2 in all of college baseball in getting on base on walks. So whether it's Wood, Root, whoever's pitching Saturday, Sunday, Monday, you can't leave guy. I mean, you got to put them in the strike zone, make them hit it. I know they've got a lot of guys up and down that can hit the baseball just like you do, but Arkansas, when you look at some games, when you look at some losses this season, which a lot of them have been close regardless, they've had some walks that they've given up. So I'm just hoping that's not one of the key causes for a potential Arkansas loss this weekend. But you should have confidence. This team has given you umpteen reasons to be confident against the Tennessee Volunteers, Arky.
I don't know, you're talking about walking people and how well they get on base. I'm amazed at the stats that the amount of success a team can have just getting a leadoff runner on base. Traffic is a big deal in baseball for sure, and so we're going to have to minimize that.
No, I completely agree. What are we doing this weekend? Friends, family, going to the ballpark? How are you taking it in this weekend, Arky?
And just out here in the man cave with the big screen and, working on some lures, some fishing rods, things like that, and just taking it in.
Well, there's nothing wrong with that. Enjoy your weekend. Enjoy. It sounds like some comfort in what you're going to be doing while you're watching the game, and hopefully we're talking about this thing Monday or Tuesday morning and this team going to Omaha, Nebraska.
Yeah.
All right, good stuff again for Arky. If you've got some thoughts like Arky did, Lewis Automotive Group hotline is 877-377-6963. I think it was Matt Jones that I was reading this morning on Whole Hog Sports. About 70% of home teams advance in the Super Regional. So that's a good stat that's going for you. Another good stat, Arkansas hasn't lost here against Tennessee since 2001, nearly 25 years. Will McIntyre was the only player that was born back then. There's some good tidbits, good info from 11.7 college baseball podcast that put out a graphic about this. Yeah, but McIntyre of both teams was the only one. Ryan at Prairie Grove doesn't think this game's even going to Monday. He's got Arkansas closing it out in just 2 games on Saturday and Sunday, which would be great. Gavin in Fayetteville. Now, we were talking about this during the break. Tennessee allows a ton of stolen bases, and their starting catcher is out the first game, so we need to run every chance we get. Now, is it Cannon Peebles? Cannon Peebles. So he's out this first game. Again, Arkansas ranks near the bottom at stolen bases, but you were pointing out it's not because they can't. They
don't.
They haven't done a lot this year.
Not really part of what DVH has really liked to do, and they have guys that are extremely capable of doing it. I think that with the catcher being out, Tennessee being a little bit more susceptible to runners moving around, traffic, like Arky mentioned earlier, that should help the Razorbacks in a way. And Ty, you mentioned it right here a second ago. Tennessee, they work a lot of walks, and so guys have got to be on their stuff. Ty, what's the best pitch in baseball?
What is the best pitch in baseball? Strike?
Strike one.
Okay.
Strike one. That's exactly what you have to do. You have to get ahead of hitters. You have to be able to keep the count in your favor and then get off the field. I think I heard Bubba say it yesterday. You got to get a 54 outs this weekend, and that's exactly how you have to take it. Be systematic, be methodical, and if you're asking me, I wrote this down during the break, when you get in that mindset where all you want to do is say, look at me, and think about how high I can make this next backflip and how many views this next thing I'm going to do as I run around the bases and grab my junk and do something stupid is going to get on TikTok. When you start doing those things, when you start thinking about how I can make it more about myself, how I can make the celebration bigger, you lose track of how you get to that point, how you get to winning. And so I think that the Razorbacks, they have a much better, more healthy mental mindset than the Volunteers. And I just think that the more competitive team this season, when it comes down to the wire, has been the Razorbacks, and it should be a good one, man.
Let's keep that conversation going and get to some more texts here momentarily. Mock Legal Solutions. If you're in need after a car wreck, a slip and fall, a dog bite case, or you're dealing with family custody issues, not only can they service here in Arkansas, but also in Oklahoma and serving Sequoia and LaFleur counties. They handle all that family law, all those cases. Plus, you might need an insurance check or wreck check. They can help you with that as well. Listen, not everyone can pony up $5,000. I don't think I could. But that way, they have low down payments and payment plans plus flat fees. Yes, the loss of chains and joint custody is a default, but they're not afraid to go to trial, and they're successful when they do. MockLegalSolutions.com. Mock Legal Solutions. Real advice, reasonable price. This text comes from Brennan earlier in the show. It grinds, we were talking about Will McIntyre. It grinds my gears that Tennessee fans show one clip of Will McIntyre doing one thing when you can look at any given game, any given inning, and the you-know-what things they are doing. The DB things that they are doing every inning. I have no idea if Will would like to take back the words that he was caught on camera saying or not. No. I know he was frustrated with the fact that that Tennessee guy was trying to delay, whether that was coming from Vitello, one of the assistant coaches, or whoever. As a pitcher, when you're starting to get on a roll, you want to keep it. You don't want to have to deal with that and everything else. And that's going to happen again this weekend. So Arkansas has to do their best and keep their composure. I know that's probably been preached about in the locker room from DVH, Thompson, Hobbs. Like, this team is going to try and agitate you this weekend, right? I think about old NBA teams like the Detroit Pistons, Bad Boys always try to get guys and gals off their guys off their game by just playing dirty, doing some things that irritate them. It worked. A lot of cases, a lot of times. Celtics did the same thing with the Lakers in '84. You can't allow that. You're the better team. It's kind of like Arky was talking about. You're the better team. If Arkansas plays well this weekend, they will advance to Omaha. But if they get distracted, if they look at things outside the game of baseball, like if some trash talk, whatever happens this weekend, then there's a chance the Vols can beat you. I think that you look at what happened last time. Root didn't have a good game. Neither did Liam Doyle. I think both those guys are going to pitch a lot better this weekend. Now, Colin, correct me if I'm wrong. Maybe you caught this in Vitello's press conference. Has he announced his pitching rotation? Like, no. I know we haven't gotten that via email to us from Arkansas on the game notes and everything else, but we'll get that, I guess, tonight?
Probably is from what Tony V said in the press conference, they were going to keep that. They were going to keep that under wraps and just sort of make that decision and then release it to the public once it got later or closer to time. But from the press conference they had yesterday about this, he kind of said the same things that we were all thinking. Do you save? Because he may come back and pitch later. It's all kind of a guessing game, but look, you'll see somebody on the bump up there wearing orange that can really sling it, and you got to attack.
Yeah, that is you are correct on that. Hey, we wouldn't have any of this super regional coverage without a few of our partners, including Heath Roberts at State Farm, my insurance agent. I know State Farm's a big name, but Heath is a local. Earn my house insurance, car insurance. He's helped me with a lot of different things insurance-wise. You can give. Again, Heath is the guy to see here in Arkansas when it comes to your insurance needs. ASU Mountain Home, they're offering 60 degrees and technical programs right now. Affordable costs, like it's cheaper. It's the #1 community college in Arkansas. You can visit their website at ASUMountainhome.com. ASUMH.edu. That's ASUMH.edu. And by First Star Bank. For all your first, whether you're saving or borrowing or planning, call in or stop at your local First Star Bank branch, your hometown banker with all the digital tools. First Star Bank, your hometown bank for all your first. We've got Chris Burke coming up in about 15 minutes, but coming up next, it's your SEC update.
Supers.
And the Rooster, yep, he's strutting to the dugout.
Our exclusive coverage of the 2025 Fayetteville Super Regionals is brought to you by State Farm Insurance Agent Heath Roberts, ASU Mountain Home, and by First Star Bank.
Craftsman Days are here at Lowe's with big savings on the tools you need. Right now, get a free select tool when you buy the Craftsman V20 2-pack battery kit. Whether it's the backyard, the bathroom, or beyond, Craftsman has the tools to help you power through and get the project done right. Because DIYing is unpredictable, but your tools shouldn't be. Shop Craftsman at Lowe's today. Valid through 6/18 while supplies last. Selection varies by location.
Whenever I lost, maybe my dad did it to me, I was kind of a little punk.
This is the Morning Rush.
Save up to $4,000 on select Buick Envisions at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. The Buick Envision showcases inspired design with exclusive features in this 5-passenger SUV. Or drive the brand new Buick Envista, a stylish crossover for as low as $399 per month. These are limited time offers. Experience the new Buick at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith or online at harryrobinson.com.
I want barbecue that's sliced thick, smoked long, and so tender it melts in your mouth. Sides that will fill me up like a twice-baked potato, baked beans, hand-cut fries, okra, Texas toast. You know what I'm talking about? A restaurant where the whole family can go and get a great meal for a great price. Where the owner actually comes to your table to make sure everything tastes great. I'll tell you what I want. I want Jerry Neal's.
Do you need closure on your garage? Call Grit Garage Doors. Whether it's a new door, a squeaky closing sound, a broken spring, or just off track, Grit is who you can trust. With an unheard of 15-year spring warranty option, Grit is the team you can trust. Call Grit. There's no door Grit can't close. Local team, local service with honesty and integrity. Call Grit Garage Doors. 479-430-3667. That's 479-430-DOOR.
A lot of life can happen between sips of Dasani. You know, the life moments, big and small, that are worth getting thirsty for. Like organizing a family movie night under the stars. Or hearing an old favorite song and having an impromptu dance party. Or finding a new dinner recipe that the whole family loves. The crisp, clean taste of Dasani was made for all of life's thirst-worthy moments. Dasani, because life happens between sips.
World-class trout fishing is the star of the show at Gaston's White River Resort, where a few days away from all the worries and stress will make all right in your world. Gaston's has friendly, experienced guides to help you land your limit. Enjoy your stay at Gaston's in one of their private cottages, or reserve a lodge for up to 20 people. Call now and let Gaston's help you plan your next getaway on the White River. 870-431-5202. That's 870-431-5202. Or learn more at Gastons.com. Gaston's, a first-class time, every time.
Summer is finally here, and so are the road trips that you've had planned. That's why it's time to visit us at Southern Tire Mart. Southern Tire Mart's expert service, competitive pricing, and top quality tires will ensure your vehicle is ready for all your summer adventures. Visit us in Fort Smith at 9700 Highway 271 and let us ensure your vehicle is prepared for the summer. Southern Tire Mart is a proud dealer of Yokohama tires. Southern Tire Mart. We keep America rolling.
Wes, how many people can a large pizza feed?
About 4.
So I should tell Cousin Jeff 1.
Oh, wow. He's a big eater.
The biggest? He once got kicked out of an all-you-can-eat diner because they ran out of food. How many can a small pizza feed?
I'd say 2.
Our small pizza at $15 is a meal for 2? We should advertise this. That goat'll hunt.
Dog.
What you call me?
That dog will hunt.
Wes, dogs are man's best friend. Goats are the true hunters.
Goats?
Billy Goat Jr.'s Grammy was trained to chase squirrels, cats, birds, and rabbits. We could hear her for miles through the brush. And she'd circle them right to us.
You're not serious.
As serious as a meal for 2 for $15.
You're an interesting cat.
What you call me?
A meal for 2 for $15. Eat Jim's RazorbackPizza.com.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
The SEC is the best conference in America. The tough will survive in this game, and I feel like the SEC is the toughest.
Arkansas is the SEC champion.
You know, every game is a dogfight. We're about to be tough there is. Week in and week out, you're going to play some of the best, the biggest, the fastest.
The Hawks have finally it's the first SEC tournament championship for Arkansas.
Where opponents' dreams come to die.
This is your SEC update on the Morning Rush.
All right, so A.J. McCarron is doing a lot of media nowadays. The former Alabama quarterback had a cup of coffee in the National Football League as well. Shared a pretty funny story about a recruiting trip that I think is worth a listen.
I see a golf cart with two good-looking girls on the back, and I made a little comment like, "Damn, who are they showing around today?" He was like, "That's for you." I was like, "Oh, all right." We go up to the top, and the head coach does a spiel, and at the end it's like, have fun going around campus today, and I'll talk to you in the end. Love having you here. Appreciate you being here. Anything else? You got any questions for me? And I said, yeah. I said, who the hell you got on the golf carts out there? I said, those two girls are, beautiful. And he looked at me dead in the eyes. He said, "Those are my daughters. Don't touch them." Let's just say I didn't end up going to school there.
Oh, man. He also told a great story. Apparently, in the final minutes of his recruiting, Lane Kiffin and the Tennessee Volunteers were trying to secure his commitment and national letter of intent while Alabama was trying to hold it off. And apparently, when Jeremy Pruitt, who became the Tennessee head coach, but when he was still the DC at Alabama, Nick Saban told Pruitt to go stand outside of McCarron's house and make sure Kiffin and Tennessee wouldn't come in here and change his mind. Apparently, Pruitt was at the wrong house, and luckily Alabama still secured the two-time national champion winning quarterback for the Crimson Tide. I guess he won 3 because he was a backup in one of those years, I think, under McElroy. But either way, funny story. All these football stories, of any coach that I've listened to talk about years gone by in the past, Coach Barry Switzer might be the best storyteller that I've heard about, whether Arkansas stuff, Oklahoma. They're so great. They're so great. It's unfiltered. It's just out there. Players are a little more open to sharing things now, obviously past their playing career and everything else, but I don't know. I feel like if I was in high school or college and I thought the coach's daughter was really cute, and then the coach told me not to date his daughter, I feel like that would want me to date her even more. You obviously have a brother-in-law, Colton. I don't know if your pops was hard on him at first, initially.
Oh yeah, he was. You have to feel it out a little bit, make sure that this is not some schmuck out here. You got to make sure that it's a guy that's capable of dating your daughter, and that's a funny story where you don't know what you're talking about, but then someone that knows exactly what you're talking about kind of sets you straight. It reminds me of a time I got one of my very first jobs working at the Harps food store in town in Gentry, and we had a bunch of the football players from the team. We're all getting jobs at the same time, and we're sitting up there at this big catered event they have at our library in town, this big meeting space. They brought in all of the corporate people from Harps, and they brought in all their stuff from the bakery. It's delicious. We're having a meal, and I'm sitting there chatting it up with all my football buddies. We've all got our nice new Harps polos on, and we're like, man, we can't wait to steal all this food for free to eat during our break. Like, we'll just be, doing stuff like that. Normal high school hijinks shenanigans. And there's a guy that's sitting right next to us, and he's joking, laughing with us. And then they announced, now the CEO of Harps, if he would please stand up and say some words. And the guy that was joking with us and talking to us, as we mentioned, stealing food from his store, stood up and began to speak and talked about honesty and integrity in the workforce. And we were quickly reprimanded after that. But we all kept our jobs, and even though there was a very keen eye on all of us.
That's fantastic.
You got to be careful.
Oh, man, first-time jobs are always great. I want to mention this other thing here on our SEC update. Chris Burke coming up in about 8 minutes. 2005 regionals between Little Rock and LSU. Third most watched regional route on record. And the top game, Monday night, Game 7, peaked with over 1.1 million viewers. Second most watched regional game on record, only trailing the Tigers and the North Carolina Tar Heels. So really cool that Little Rock made it all the way in Baton Rouge and took them to a final game. Also cool that a lot of people got to see Coach Curry's program take on LSU. Ryan in Prairie Grove, I know you were texting in earlier this week asking me to do the prank call with Tennessee. If Arkansas wins, I will do my best on Monday or Tuesday to call into a Tennessee radio show and get some spirited feedback, what I would guess would be devastated Tennessee fans and hosts. Now, if they lose, I'm just going to be hacked off, and we know how that goes. All right, that's your SEC update here this morning. It is brought to you by Pradco Fishing. LearnThat.com. You can always take advantage of the great deals right now. Free shipping domestically on orders 25 or more. The Booyah Mobsters made right here in Arkansas. They've got all of what you need at Pradco Fishing, and you need a Booyah Mobster to reel them in. And they're available at LearnThat.com and tackle stores all over Arkansas and Oklahoma. It's the Booyah Mobster from Pradco. Now, Bruce and his better half are going to be watching the game together this weekend. So I have, hold on, I don't know if you have friends or family like this. Got some friends. One's a Alabama fan, one's an Auburn fan. There's no really rivalry between Baylor and Auburn, or Alabama. My bonus mom and my dad, I guess they played each other like once or twice recently, but it's not been bad. Those in-house dynamics, like Sean and his wife, like I just can't imagine being in a household married to someone who I wanted to be. That's just that is an interesting dynamic within a household when you've got the husband on one side and the wife on the other.
Ty, my wife, her family comes from a long lineage of Florida Gator fans, and it's taken everything I've had to indoctrinate her into the Razorback cause. And there are still times where I'll find her asking me about the Gator score, the score for the Florida game, and I have to remind her that we don't care. And I hope it's that they lost. I hope that they lost in dramatic, heart-wrenching, gut-wrenching fashion. But it's difficult sometimes. But at the end of the day, you really just want your shared rivals to lose. That's really what it is. There's one common enemy that you can unite around. You just hate on them together.
Well, you know who we can unite around disliking? You know who I'm talking about?
Who?
Tyrese Halliburton.
5 seconds, no fouls to give. Halliburton looking. Halliburton driving, pulls off, jump shot. It's good with 0.3 of a second remaining. Timeout, OKC. Tyrese Halliburton does it again.
111-110 the final last night. Oklahoma City falls in game 1 in Paycom. Got to bounce back Sunday on ESPN at 7 o'clock. Isaiah had a good game, had 5 points, knocked down his only 3-point attempt. Unfortunately, just didn't get enough plays down the final stretch from the Thunder. And Indiana does what it's done every series, I guess, so far this season. It's taken the road game 1, and now you split. See what happens on Sunday between OKC and the Indiana Pacers.
This playoffs has sort of reminded me something that I forgot since his days in Toronto, but Pascal Siakam is kind of that guy occasionally. He really can get a bucket. Very crafty player. And Ty, I was watching that game last night, like I said, flip towards the end, flip channel towards the end of the game and caught that live. And it took everything I had not to be kind of excited for the Pacers, because if you think about it, that's a team full of guys like Pascal Siakam, guys that are just kind of no name, came into the league, have had to claw and scrape for everything they've got. They're kind of an underdog story, and a guy from this state, I can really, really align with that. But then I remembered, damn, Isaiah and Jalen just lost. Yeah, that makes me feel bad.
If you want to look on the other side, Gennaro Pargo,
that's true.
Ridgeback did win, so that's how. And I'm an OKC fan. I want him to win, but if you want to take solace,
they should respond well. They should respond well.
Yeah. All right, we continue on the Morning Rush with Chris Burke coming up. We are brought to you by Gaston's White River Resort. Call Clint, call Jacob, call their team, 870-431-5202. The fishing, the food, the scenery, it's all at Gaston's White River Resort. Gastons.com, their Facebook page, has so many pictures, so many videos of the great times at Gaston's. Gaston's White River Resort. A first-class time every time.
Through kicks and deals, he struck him out swinging.
This is Fastball Friday on the Morning Rush. Presented by QC Kinetix. Get real lasting relief from chronic joint pain.
Hi, everybody. Larry Rath here for Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, where all we do is keep you rolling. If you're looking for the best used car your money can buy, check out our great selection of road-ready certified vehicles with warranty. If you're trading or selling your car, let us give you a free second opinion and leave with a check in your hand. If you're keeping the car you have, let us take care of it for you in the Meineke Car Care Center. Plus, follow us on Facebook for special offers and fun contests. All the happiest drivers are rolling with Rath. Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, Fort Smith.
When you need tough and paint just isn't enough, check out River City Coatings in Van Buren. When it comes to your metals, paint can peel and crack over time. Whether it's your patio furniture, rims or trims on your automobile, or heavy equipment, no one has time for a redo. Powder coating provides the toughness you need. Preserve your investment with powder coating from River City Coatings. River City Coatings, certified John Deere, Caterpillar, ISO 9001, Packer, and UL provider of tough. River City Coatings, 471-7675 or online at rivercitycoatings.com.
I want barbecue that's sliced thick, smoked long, and so tender it melts in your mouth. Sides that will fill me up like a twice-baked potato, baked beans, hand-cut fries, okra, Texas toast. You know what I'm talking about? A restaurant where the whole family can go and get a great meal for a great price. Where the owner actually comes to your table to make sure everything tastes great. I'll tell you what I want. I want Jerry Neal's.
You've got the shoes, now finish the run strong. At True Grit Running Company, we've got the gear that goes the extra mile. Socks that fit and protect your feet and improve how the shoes fit, feel, and perform. Hydration bottles, packs, and belts to keep you going through the hot summer. And Ufos recovery sandals and shoes, your feet will thank you. Because running isn't just about the miles, it's about the details. Come see the gear at True Grit Running Company, where every step counts. 6808 Rogers Avenue, Suite B, behind Chick-fil-A.
Equipment down? Got a leak? Lost pressure? Don't let hydraulic problems slow you down. At Central Hydraulics in Fort Smith, we've got the power to keep you moving. From hoses and fittings to full system repairs, our expert team delivers top quality service fast. Central Hydraulics specializes in hydraulic pumps, cylinders, and custom-built solutions, so you can get back to work. Heavy machinery, farming equipment, construction rigs, if it runs on hydraulics, we've got you covered. Visit Central Hydraulics today or call 479-646-0471 for fast, reliable service.
Are you tired of loose, uncomfortable dentures or struggling with missing teeth? This is Dr. Charles Liggett with River Valley Smile Center. Dr. Cole Johnson, Dr. Hannah Cave, and myself experience with full arch dental implant solutions. Dentures that are securely attached to implants, giving you a natural-looking, confident smile that feels like your own. No more slipping, no more pain, just the freedom to smile, speak, and eat with ease. You like coming to see us, right, Matt?
Who doesn't want to say, I love the way your smile lights up under your eyes? Call 479-646-0706 or visit rivervalleysmiles.com to schedule your consultation today.
Fords Grid Incorporated, a company known for paying top wages and benefits, has immediate openings for equipment operators, pipe layers, concrete finishers, and laborers. For nearly 90 years, Fords Grid has built the foundations of the River Valley, and now you can become a part of that legacy. Apply now from any device at GoFordsGrid.com. That's GoFordsGrid.com. Do you finally want to get paid well for your work? Do you want to work for a company that treats you like family? Apply now at GoFordsGrid.com. Fords Grid Incorporated is an equal opportunity employer.
Are you a middle-aged man feeling low on energy, struggling with weight gain, a decreased libido, or even battling depression? You don't have to feel this way any longer. Hi, this is Stephen Pittman, a licensed nurse practitioner and expert on testosterone replacement therapy. At Pittman TRT in Fort Smith, our priority is to restore your vitality and energy the way you felt in your 20s. No need to drive an hour or more.
Call Pittman TRT today at 479-274-1747 or check them out online at pittmantrt.com. Pittman TRT. Get back to feeling like your old self again.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
It's a little duplicitous. Like on one hand, I could not be more fired up to watch these two teams compete, but part of me wishes it was going down in Omaha.
And the pitch. Swinging. Lining it to left. It's gone. It's gone. It's gone. West Park. Holy Toledo. What a way to finish.
It's probably a bullpen series, if I had to guess. And I think both head coaches would sign up for that in a heartbeat.
All right, we are back here on the Morning Rush as we welcome in Chris Burke, ESPN college baseball analyst, former Tennessee Volunteer and major leaguer. Chris, did that pass the intro test, the walk-up song test here this morning?
That was pretty strong. I appreciate all the effort that went into that.
You can thank Colton sidekick here for that. Chris, I want to start. I wonder about this, just a little behind the scenes before we get talking more baseball. Do you and Kyle and Tom, do you guys like tell managers and bosses like, hey, we want this series? Like, I'm wondering, you guys were just here a couple weeks ago. Did y'all push for being here in Fayetteville again?
Well, we don't make those decisions, but we certainly like to do the best series. So we can definitely give our opinion on what we think is the best series. But the bosses decide who goes where.
I gotcha. Well, man, you know, it's crazy. I don't know if you've seen this graphic. Arkansas hasn't lost to Tennessee in 2 decades. They haven't lost in Fayetteville since you were actually on the team. In 2001, that's the last time Tennessee has been in Fayetteville on that College World Series team you were a part of. I know it wasn't. I mean, it was an SEC opponent. That was back when Coach DeBryan was coaching, and there's always a little bit of an animosity, a little bit of a rivalry between SEC teams. But don't you kind of wish you were playing in the midst of this with Coach Vitello, Coach Van Horn? I mean, this is as heightened as a rivalry that Tennessee and Arkansas has ever had in baseball.
Oh, I mean, yeah, I don't think there's anybody that's ever played the game that doesn't love to be a part of rivalries and a little tension and playing with something on the line. So yeah, as a competitor, this is about as good as it gets. And you know what's funny about that 2001 series? I was talking about this with John Wilkerson, the voice of the Vols radio guy who's been doing it so long. He did it even before I played there, but he reminded me that we won in Fayetteville my junior year, and I have zero recollection of it, which I'm extremely disappointed because I remember, back in the old East-West days, I remember so many of those series from that year, and I remember my freshman year going to Fayetteville and getting swept, as I remember it, and for the life of me, I cannot remember going there my junior year, which is very disappointing to me.
Well, sometimes I know it sticks in athletes. The losses stand out more than the wins, and sometimes you're like, oh, we won that series, we won that game. It kind of gets thrown away, and then the ones that eat you up 20 years, 25 years later, it's the losses. So I can understand that feeling. Chris Burke with us, ESPN college baseball analyst, former Tennessee Volunteer, and major leaguer as well. Chris, I know you were on Chuck and Bo earlier this week, yesterday, kind of doing an ESPN Arkansas car wash of sorts, but you mentioned the wishing almost this was a game plan played in Omaha, and if the Razorbacks or Tennessee advance, the possibility of LSU awaiting them in Omaha is there depending on what happens in Baton Rouge. But in your opinion, does the winner in this series, do they have the best odds to win the old thing here in a couple weeks?
They certainly would be. I think they would be the 1, 2, or 3 favorite. I mean, I think the Vegas already has that, right? Mm-hmm. I think Arkansas and LSU are kind of co-favorites, and Tennessee and North Carolina are right there after it. So yeah, I think if Arkansas is the favorite and they win, they will even enhance their odds. And if Tennessee beats the favorite, then that probably puts them right there at the top. But I think everybody had this one circled when the brackets came out. It's kind of a bummer that it's going on to get to Omaha as opposed to a bracket final or an opening weekend of the College World Series, but makes for some good TV. So, we're excited about it. But yeah, two very, very talented teams.
Last time these two teams went at it, the aces for both squads did not necessarily have the best of outings. Zach Root would tell you that was not his best pitching performance, as would Liam Doyle. I'm kind of expecting both those guys to have much better weekends ahead. Chris, where do you stand on the two aces for each school and their impact on this upcoming weekend?
Yeah, it'll be interesting first to see what Tennessee announces for when they'll use Liam Doyle. Has Arkansas officially announced yet?
They have not. I'm going to guess that we'll get an email later on tonight.
Yeah.
That will give us an update on who's going for both squads tomorrow.
Yeah, so it's still in the finding out phase, but yeah, neither ace was particularly effective first time around, which makes for a pretty cool cat and mouse game here the second time around. I think the strength of both of these teams are, though, that they can withstand that. Both of them have multiple options they can go to in the bullpen that can give length and potentially be shut down kind of guys. So, I think that's part of the reason. The previous answer to your question was that they're both up there towards the top of the favorites list to win the whole thing, because they have aces, but they also aren't completely dependent on their aces to be able to win a series.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, a lot of other elements for both teams that could push them over the edge. And Chris, on the subject of aces, we were talking about this yesterday. So the Razorbacks in last decade and a half, they beat the lights of Brady Singer twice, Paul Skeens twice. They just beat Liam Doyle this year. They beat Ethan Small. They beat David Price way back in 2007. Dave Van Horn has a track record of success against the SEC pitcher of the year. Is there any component? Is there anything that maybe you've watched of his teams over the years that maybe would lend to why that they've had success against some of the best pitchers in baseball?
Good teams. I don't know what else to say, but competitive at bats from 7, 8, 9 dangerous hitters, and you put that out on the field, and it's a tough matchup for any pitcher. And I just think when you watched, I was in the ballpark for Doyle's start against Arkansas a few weeks ago, and it's just 9 guys that are clearly ready for what Doyle brings to the table, and multiple guys that can really do damage. And that's just a hard matchup for any pitcher. And I think you just gave a pretty long list of aces that Arkansas has been able to have success against, but it's also been a period of time where Arkansas's had one of the best teams in the country for what feels like a decade straight. So that doesn't shock me. And I think anybody that goes into Baum knows they have their hands full to try to be effective against whoever Dave Van Horn puts in the lineup.
Chris Burke's going to be on the call this weekend along with Kyle Peterson and Tom Art. He's with us here on the Lewis Automotive Group hotline. Chris, you mentioned like the 7, 8, 9. Arkansas has some of the best production that they've really had in recent years this season. I know some guys have struggled a little bit lately, but how much of an impact do you see that having on this series against the Vols this weekend? Was it Caboose Boys, Colton? That's right. Okay. How much of an impact do you see those guys having this weekend?
I think the bottom of both lineups are going to be, to me, it's going to be a bullpen and bottom of the lineup series. I think both teams have proven that their stars are extremely consistent, and they're going to have an impact on the outcome of the game. But I think there's a high likelihood that we'll look back and could be Brent Iredale. It could be Reese Chapman. It could be Levi Clark. It could be Justin Thomas Jr. Like, it wouldn't surprise me if any of those guys at the bottom end up making game-changing plays or hitting a 3-run homer or whatever the case might be. And then, I think from a pitching side of things, it could be, Parker Coyle or Cole Giblett or Christian Fouch or A.J. Russell, Brandon Arvidsson. I think there are a number of different guys from both teams that could end up being the hero of this weekend that aren't necessarily the stars on paper when you're previewing the series.
Chris, we got 2 more before we let you go. I want to ask you as a broadcaster, and you've been a part of some great atmospheres. Of course, you get to do and go to Omaha every single season. For a fan that just a diehard college baseball fan that hasn't experienced Baum Walker, which you obviously have, you're going to do it again this weekend. And Alex Box is great. There's some Duty Noble. There's some great venues within SEC baseball. But is there anything particular, anything special about a game or a series in Baum Walker Stadium?
To me, I think they do as unique and special of a job of celebrating their players and the unique characteristics of their players. And there's no better example of that than the Alloy brothers. I mean, the amount of Hawaii garb that'll be rocking in the stadium tomorrow night, it just always tickles me. And you got the Australian chants, and just the hog pen in general has so much character to it. There's flags and their unique outfits and all the tailgating, all the things that go on. So to me, you said it. There's a number of different great atmospheres in college baseball, but I think Arkansas is unique for the flair and the bases loaded hats and all these kinds of things that you just don't see anywhere else.
I don't think I've ever heard that answer. So I think a lot of our fans appreciate it because they feel like they spend time, effort, getting to know these guys, in some cases just for a year. You mentioned Vihiba and Cahillo, the Aussie. I mean, there's just elements that you'll hear throughout the games here, the next 2 or 3 that definitely are different. Chris, last before we let you go, you're obviously about to fly into Northwest Arkansas in X&A. What's the dinner tonight? We're going to Herman's. Like what's on the
Herman's? Yeah, we got a reservation at Herman's tonight. So Tom Hart set that one up. TV's Tom Hart, Mr. SEC, got us dialed in, and I had my first Herman's experience the last time I was in town, and so when he suggested that one for this series, I was sold before he finished typing out the text. So we're excited to have some taste of Fayetteville tonight. Herman's is about as unique as Baum Walker, so fired up for that.
Oh, I know Nick and Carrie will take care of you. That's where I have my graduation dinner. It's about as special a place in Arkansas that we have. So you guys enjoy tonight. Enjoy the broadcast this weekend. Again, Chris Burke, who's calling the game for ESPN, along with Kyle Peterson and Tom Hart. Chris, hop on that plane. We'll see you here later on tonight. Good luck this weekend, man.
Okay, appreciate it.
All right, again, Chris Burke with us here on the Lewis Automotive Group Hotline, former Tennessee Volunteer, major leaguer. I mean, he is very good. I really do like. I'm not always a fan, Colton, just to be honest, of like tandem analysts on a broadcast. Like there's been a lot being made about Doris Burke and Richard Jefferson, which doesn't sound like they're going to be on that broadcast much longer. I like Mark Jackson and Jeff Van Gundy, but I think him and Peterson, because you got the pitcher perspective, you got the hitter perspective. Both those guys, along with either Carl Ravitch or Tom this weekend, I feel like do a good job.
Yeah, those two guys are really notable. They have a perfect understanding of the game, and they've kept up with college baseball, and they understand the tradition and everything like that. You talk about how during the regional, the crew that we had, they didn't understand, like, the beer hats and things like that. And, you even told Kristen Sub, what a great answer he said about Baum and how it makes it unique. It's that flair that we bring. And so, whenever he mentioned that, it just kind of affirmed to me that, Chris and Kyle Peterson and those guys, like, they understand that, and that's what makes them calling a game, makes it more enjoyable, and that's why they're the best. That's why they're the A team. So, looking forward to a good call from them this week.
It is important. It's the fabric of this fan base. It's the fabric of this state, football, basketball, and baseball. And I don't want to say anything bad about like softball or soccer or track and field, but those are the 3 major sports. And postseason time, it's something else around here. Hey, do you want to bet on them? Think they're going to win this weekend? Oaklawn Sports, the Oaklawn Sports app, you can do it. You can bet on the Hogs. You can bet on the Thunder to bounce back. You can bet WNBA soccer, like Matt likes to follow. You can do it all at the Oaklawn Sports app. New customers earn up to $1,000 in bonus bets right now. They've got so many different options where you could store in the Oaklawn Sports app. You can deposit money via debit, credit cards, PayPal, Apple Pay, Venmo, on-site cash too at the Oaklawn Sportsbook. Always a great place that you can watch the game. Arkansas's best sports betting app. Bet with the brand you trust. Bet with Oaklawn Sports. That is to your point about Chris's answer, that is an element and a thought that I don't think I've heard expressed by someone that has some pretty good authority of college baseball. I mean, we've all seen the scenes of the Charlie Welch home run or the Brady Toops grand slam, all these different things. We've seen that. But to give you more credit on just having the knowledge and the information and trying to make, I mean, let's be real. Now, the kids that I guess that were here this last weekend that played on, I don't know 100% if this is factually correct. I'm assuming played on the Beheva's old travel ball team or whatever it was, like their first time in Arkansas, and I think for some of them the continental United States, I should say,
The mainland.
Yeah, the mainland. It was cool how welcomed and how at home they felt. And for a guy that spent his life in Hawaii and in California and Sacramento State, I mean, does he feel at home?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's we talk about coaches and players that come to this state. Like Chris Anzilli is a perfect example. Spends 1 year in Arkansas, not even a full year, and feels like at home. Every time he comes back, he has a great time and enjoys it. So that extra added effort that you as a fan put in, whether you're attending the games or you're talking about the games or you're just giving these guys props on social media, whatever the case, however you're contributing, it goes a very, very long way.
I think it's the stadium, too, and part of just the atmosphere because, they have the organist there. It feels like a real ballpark. They had the ballpark green. Everybody that takes care of that stadium does such a good job. I mean, it's a professional atmosphere all around. The team carries itself as professional as we'd like them to, and that's just part of the reason why I think going to a game at Baum is something that every baseball fan should check off their list.
All right, we're brought to you this morning by Andy's Frozen Custard. They've got several locations across our state, including the Rogers Avenue one in Fort Smith, the Conway ones at 201 East Oak Street and Dave Ward Drive across from UCA, plus the North Little Rock location on JFK Boulevard. Whether you're looking to stay cool and it's getting hotter here in the natural state, or do you want to satisfy the sweet tooth? Take home a pick six, mix and match 6 of your favorite flavors. Swing by Andy's Frozen Custard Day at Rogers Avenue in Fort Smith, 2 locations in Conway, and don't forget the JFK Boulevard location in North Little Rock. Download the Andy's app, Andy's Frozen Custard, walk up or drive through. They're ready to serve you. Non-baseball topic real quick before we close out. So the Walmart shareholders, it's going on, seeing concerts. I've got a handful of friends, handful of listeners that work for the home office. And I guess they announced that they're delivering drone items via drone in some cities, including Atlanta, Charlotte, North Carolina, and Houston. I think Orlando and Tampa, too. This is going to happen at like 100 different stores. I'm reading this via Axios. Up to 6 miles from the store. Apparently, the Northwest Arkansas service is, drumroll, you ready? Available in Pea Ridge. More of those locations are going to come soon. Would you have a drone fly something you buy from Walmart to your house?
Maybe. I mean, I don't know if I really needed it. I feel like there's going to be such a big upcharge on that it seems it's senseless. This has to be for the uber rich. I mean, the people that can really afford it. And it's not really that smart. They're giving lots of irresponsible gun owners lots of practice.
I've seen, like, my buddy has one for the golf course, and it's a terrible one. Like, the quality on it's awful, but it doesn't carry anything.
They're gonna make
except
it
for a
carry all
camera.
those groceries. It just seems impractical.
What if they?
Just go
What
get
if,
'em.
what if it
Just
drops?
go
What
get
if it drops?
Yeah, they drop a bunch of your eggs or your milk or something like that. That's just, I don't know.
That's tough. That is.
I wouldn't do it. I don't even like going to get them, like have someone put them in the back of my car. I just feel dirty doing that. I can walk around the store. I know where the aisles are. I can pick up things.
Yeah. So that's apparently going to happen, or is happening. We'll see if it's a success, or we'll see if there's some pushback to it. All right, as we close here, I can't close the show without playing this clip.
Whenever I lost, maybe my dad did it to me. I was kind of a little punk.
What kind of Tony Vitello do we see this weekend? Does he make it through the entire weekend without being ejected? Do we see some tempers flare up from both squads? Super Regional begins this weekend. Can't wait. 4 o'clock on Saturday, 2 o'clock on Sunday, TBD on Monday. Hey, it's been a Fastball Friday brought to you by QC Kinetix. You can call them at 479-999-1234. If you're finally trying to get rid of the chronic joint pain, then they're the person that you can call. Revitalize your joints with advanced ortho-biological treatments from QC Kinetix. No steroids, no drugs, no surgery. It's the future of medicine right now. Tens of thousands of people have already discovered these treatments. They're living life again without constant pain in their joints. One more time, 479-999-1234. That's 479-999-1234 for QC Connects. Appreciate everyone joining us here today on the Morning Rush. Coming up, Phil Elson, Matt Jones. They're live at Rudy's in Fayetteville for halftime. So if you're in the Northwest Arkansas area and you're hungry for some barbecue, stop by and see him. Colton Little, I'm Ty Richardson. Tommy back with us next week. Can't wait for that. Pre and post game coverage all weekend long. So stay tuned here on ESPN Arkansas.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's #1 mobile app for placing sports wagers.
There's big news in the mobile sports betting